The long tail. The long tail. Why the future of business is selling less of more is a book by Chris Anderson in 2006. Chris Anderson asks the simple question, what happens to demand when supply is no longer limited? Economists always talk about supply and demand. So this is very much an economist question. The first thing one should ask is, why is supply limited? In the traditional physical store, supply is limited by physical space and also perhaps by the size and wealth of the surrounding community. In his book, Anderson gives the example of a Wild West store, which had only one size, one color suit for men and one dress for women. With this historical context in mind, it is difficult to imagine how supply might be limited in a present store. Department stores are full of different clothes, and bookstores have tens of thousands of different books. However, even in present-day stores, the shopkeeper is limited by physical space, and the shopkeeper has to make sure that there is churn. In other words, that things for sale are every now and then bought and do not remain on the shelf. After all, even shop shelf space is expensive. The price of digital space is very low, almost non-existent. This means that the shopkeeper can in his catalogue have thousands of articles. There is of course a price in creating lists and catalogues, but in some extreme cases, like YouTube, this task can even be given to the consumer. Chris Anderson argues that the future is selling less of more. He argues that consumers want special and unique goods. For the last several years, I have asked my students to look into the long tail and to discuss whether as individuals they have any special hobbies. I also asked them if they have become content producers, or are they perhaps at the end of the long tail selling on their websites some unique items. The long tail is connected to the notion of 6 degrees. One can imagine the individual user putting some content for sale or putting content on YouTube or some other site and hoping that his products will sell or that his YouTube content or blog comment will go viral. The long tail is connected also to the notion of a commons. For example, YouTube is a commons. The Android operating system is a common, although perhaps the word platform would be better. All in all, the commons, 6 degrees, and long tail describe the same phenomenon from different perspectives. One should note that if people buy more at the end of the long tail, they will no longer buy as much at the beginning of the tail, because the amount of money they use is remaining the same, because the salaries are remaining the same. The long tail changes the way markets are constructed. Television is a great example of change. Programs are no longer time dependent. On services like Netflix, any program can be viewed at any time. Netflix is also finding new ways to create value. They are, for example, monitoring what types of programs are popular and are then designing their own content to fulfill the discovered needs of their viewers.